into the fourth dimension.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Triumph over Lockdown. It's great to be here again. We've got an amazing show for you, so please join in. Please share this out. We've got great information, great exercises to do. So please, if you can right now, share it out to the groups that you're members of. You can only be helping others by doing that. And it's really wonderful that you're joining in yourself. So please put in the comments where you're coming in from, what platform you're seeing this on, and who you are, what country you're from even. So, why am I doing this? What is the reason that I come on here almost every day at the same time and talk to you? What's the purpose behind that? Well, it's one of the values that I want to live by. I want to live by a value of contributing to the society that I live in, contributing to others. They are my personal values that I actually sat down one day and thought about quite deeply. Well, probably took more than one day, but eventually kind of verbalized it, wrote it down for myself, that in the way that I want to live in a way that will contribute to others. And I thought to myself, well, what's the possibilities? What ways can I contribute to others? And so one way is giving charity, but I'm not a super wealthy person, so there's going to be a certain amount of limitations in the amount of money that I'm going to be able to give to others. But I'll do my best on that. But another thing that I found is that I have my life experiences and my education and my training and the guidance that I have been privileged enough to get from my mentors. And I thought, wow, that is something I think that could be of value to others. And so I'll just put it out there. It doesn't matter to me the quantity of people that are hearing this. If I can just help one person or even one person a day, that will be for me a wonderful contribution to others, because if you can help one person, you basically saved a whole world, right? Because you've helped them within their families and their relationships and their circle, and that can just go on and on for generations. So if I can just help even one person, that's already enough for me, and everything else after that is just a bonus. So what I want today's show to be about is about values. What are your heart's deepest desires? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty, right? Let's get down to the real important matters in life, which is, how do you want to behave as a human being? Right? This is what matters. If you're alive, then you are behaving. And if you are behaving, you need to make choices on the way that you want to behave. Right? So that is what this is about. It's about discovery. It's about working together to find out what each of our own individual values are. Now, values are not goals. That's something different. Okay, goals are maybe a platform of markers along the way of a valued life. Values are more like, which direction are you going to go in? And on that direction, on that path, that general direction of you're going, let's say you're going west. Okay, so generally on that direction of going west, there will be milestones along the way that you might pick out for yourself that are keeping you in line with that general direction. But just like if I was to ask you now to start walking west, there is no end to that journey. right? You don't get to West and say, okay, I've arrived at West. I've done it, right? So West is a continual journey that we make. And along the way, we will have certain milestones that are keeping us going in that direction. So that is basically what living a valued life is. And what we find a lot of the time is that at the moment, maybe, we're making decisions not according to those life directions, but we are making decisions on our behavior, on how we feel. And we want to feel good, right? And so by wanting to feel good and deciding what behaviors we are doing according to how we feel, then on the short term, that might give us some sort of benefit, right? Because we feel a bit better, right? So let's say that I've got to go to a business meeting or a party, or I've got to do something with my family or whatever, and I'm feeling very anxious about it. And I'm getting to feel those physical sensations in my body, that anxiety showing up. I'm beginning to get, a little bit down in my mood because I've got this really important thing to do and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about it. And so I begin to feel not so good. So then I come to think, well, what would be my choice of behavior now? I can carry on and feel really rotten, or I can decide to phone them up and say, right, I'm not going to do this. I've decided it's too much for me, or whatever excuse I'm going to give, and I'm going to not participate. And then what happens? I feel wonderful. I feel that sense of relief. I go, wow, that is amazing. And now what have I just done? Well, I've just taught myself to avoid doing things that were important to me because of how I feel, right? And so I've just learned that and I felt good about it. So the chances are I'm going to do that again in the future. So in the short term, I'm getting that kind of feel-good benefit. But in the long term, I'm cutting out things that are important to me as the way I want to live. I want to be involved in my work's business. I want to be involved socially with the people that are important to me. I want to go shopping and do the things that I need to do. But because I'm feeling anxious about it, because I'm feeling uncomfortable about it, I cut it out of my life. I feel a little bit better in the short term, but in the long term, I've cut out activities and people that are really important to me. So what I'm doing is I'm narrowing down my life's repertoire. Well, in the long term, that's only going to bring me more suffering, right? Anyone identify with this? Identify with this, stick it in the comments. Me, right? Because it happens to all of us, right? We know there's something important we want to do. We cut it out of our life because it makes us feel better. Well, that is, in the long run, going to be detrimental to the quality of our life. And what we want to be able to do, especially in this show right now, is to work together, discover together what's important for us, and practice that moving forward in that direction. Not always are we going to be on a straight line. Sometimes we're going to have to go around something. Sometimes we're going to have to stop for a bit. Okay? It generally moving in direction of doing things and meeting people and being participants in life that sometimes goes along with being uncomfortable, but it's going along in that direction that's really important to us. So we've got to ask ourselves some questions, right? We've got to ask ourselves, what is it that we would like our life to be about? Right? Either we're going to be led by circumstances and be thrown all over the place, or we're going to make a conscious decision of what would I want my life to be about? How do I want to live it? How do I want to become a bigger and better person? How do I want to bring meaning into my life? Right? Now, it doesn't always go hand in hand with feeling better. okay? But it will go hand in hand with better at feeling the full repertoire of my emotions by touching the sad emotions, frustrated emotions, difficult emotions, as well as the joyful and happy ones, right? So if I know the direction that I want to go in, it will help me live a life of value, even though sometimes it's uncomfortable. I always give the metaphor example of an Olympian, right? An Olympian wants to go in that direction of competition in his life or her life. They want to, they want to practice, they want to go through, they want to better themselves, they want to have a certain excellence in their life. Okay, that's the direction that they want to go in. And one of the milestones along the way is a gold medal at the next Olympics. Now, in order to move along that direction and get to that particular milestone, and there'll be other milestones after that, and after that, and after that, there's a lot of work involved. And a lot of work involved might mean getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting out there, practicing, doing whatever sport it is they're doing. Their coach is shouting and screaming at them, do it faster, do it stronger, do it this way, do it that way. There's a lot of pain involved. It might be physical pain. It might be mental, emotional pain to get through the next barrier that comes up, right? So what is keeping this athlete going? For goodness sake, how much pain can somebody get every morning when they get up, right? But what they have in mind is that general direction of being competitive, of being excellent, of pushing their bodies. Okay, not for everybody, but that's what athletes do, right? And so don't think for a second that all athletes jump out of bed at 4 in the morning saying, woohoo, let's get going and practicing and get, getting exercising. No, my own personal trainer who, is muscular, is fit, it does the whole thing, tells me that he also suffers pain when he's lifting extra weights and he has to do his exercises, right? So that happens to anybody. We're all human beings. So the question is, are you willing to put up with the pain and the suffering, but to go in the direction of value that will bring you a higher quality, more fulfilling, more meaningful life? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Anybody that's wanting a meaningful, fulfilling, satisfactory, high quality life, but without any suffering, any pain, any type of investment whatsoever, it's not in this lifetime. It's not on this planet. That just doesn't exist. So if that's the case, why don't we learn the skills for navigating that kind of route? And that's what this is all about. That is exactly why I do this. That is what Triumph over Lockdown, or the whole Triumph system, which is based on acceptance and commitment therapy, is all about. So let's get on with part one. Okay, so are you willing to come along with me? And we'll start off with the breathing. Okay, the breathing is really important. Breathing in through our nose. Deeply using our tummy, sticking our tummies out as we breathe in, holding it, and breathing out through our mouth slowly. Excellent. Breathing in through our nose, sticking our tummies out. Really filling those lungs, holding it, and out as if you're blowing out a candle. Very slowly. 2 more. Breathing in. Holding and out. Keeping your feet firmly on the floor, breathing in, holding, and out. Letting go. Wonderful. Just let that move around. Feeling that around your body now. Get yourself into a comfortable position. If you can, have your feet firmly on the floor, have your hands on your lap. Get yourself comfortable. Put yourself in a position, no matter how you're feeling right now, put yourself in a position that you would be sitting in if everything was wonderful in your life, okay? Get yourself into that wholesome wellness position. Imagine that the world is exactly the way you want it, okay? It's a bit of an imaginary position, but it doesn't matter. The world is exactly the way you want it. Get yourself into that position. How would you sit if everything was really perfect for you? Whatever it is for you, okay? Sit in that way, right? Back reasonably straight, not rigid, relaxed, shoulders, head. Okay, just notice the position that you're sitting in right now. Keep it in that healthy posture, right? Not rigid, not all ballet dancers here. Just keep it really relaxed, but in a way that you would sit if you were really feeling that the world is just the way you want it. Okay? Now, in a minute, I'm going to invite you to either close your eyes or you can look down at a spot on the floor or on the table in front of you and just let your eyes go into a soft gaze. So, let's begin. Just keep yourself comfortable, and now you can close your eyes or just pick a spot on the ground or on a table in front of you and just go into a soft gaze, bringing your attention now to your breathing. Not any particular special type of breathing, just notice your chest rising and falling with your breath. As you inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just your normal breathing. Just pay attention to that. As you do this exercise, you might find that you start to notice thoughts that are coming in. Some of them may be pleasant, some of them neutral. Some of them might be quite uncomfortable to have. Just let them pass in front of you and just notice that they're there. No need to get hooked into them or to believe what they're telling you. Just notice that it happens. Breathing in and out. Just notice the rise and fall of your body as you breathe. Everything working in unison for you. You might begin to notice all sorts of sensations in your body. Maybe you feel the temperature. Just notice it. Is the temperature different in different parts of your body? Maybe you're experiencing some sort of tingling or other sensations on your skin or inside your body. Don't do anything about it, just notice it's there without any judgment whatsoever. Just letting go, being gentle with yourself, being kind to everything that's showing up in your mind or in your body right now. Now I'm going to take you on a short journey. We're going to go out in the ocean, out to the sea, on a sailing trip. Now, even if you've never been on a boat or a ship before, you can just imagine it. Out into the deep sea. And as we're sailing in the sea, early in the morning, everything is quiet. And we begin to see the sun in front of us rise over the horizon. That beautiful, wide horizon that we can see all around us. The beautiful gold and yellow with a touch of red. That light lights up the whole sky, giving it a beautiful glow. And we are sailing towards the horizon. Sailing in this direction. That's what living in a valued way is. It's just moving in a particular direction. As we're sailing over the waves, we go up and down. And as we do, sometimes that horizon in front of us is a little bit sometimes out of our sight, and then it comes back in again. And then it kind of disappears on us and comes back again. And the more that we sail towards this horizon, the more it seems to be further and further away. It just seems to be unreachable. But we can move towards it. And as we move towards that horizon, we feel the warmth of the sun's rays on our body. We see the rising sun lights up our day. We feel that light that's coming into our life as we go in the direction that we have chosen for ourselves. And perhaps we feel a nice sea cool breeze coming in, cooling us down from the hot sun's rays. Sometimes we're not directly in that path that we've set out, Sometimes the tide and the sea pulls us in one direction and then another as we navigate the surf and the waves. But in general, we're still moving in the same direction that we have chosen. And that's like our own behavior. When we choose certain values and paths for our life, our behavior doesn't always match exactly the way that we would like it to be, but generally speaking, we can bring ourselves back and head in that direction that we would like our life to be, that gives our life meaning. And when we do, we will feel that. We will know that the way of behaving is important to us. Sometimes as we're sailing towards the horizon, sometimes there's storms come in. Sometimes it's raining. Sometimes there's gale force winds that we have to navigate through as we sail in the direction that we've chosen. Sometimes we have to really work hard to make sure the ship stays afloat. Sometimes it's difficult and hard and we don't feel good. We feel tired and overworked. And all these things are trying to blow our boat in a different direction. But we know the general direction that we want to keep sailing in. Sometimes there's thick fog and we're not sure if we're in the correct direction or not. But as soon as we can see again, we can recorrect the way that we're sailing so that we can be back on course again. Sometimes that happens to us in life. We have surprises and unexpected events that try to steer us off course of the type of life we'd like to live. Sometimes this feeling of failure or feeling of disappointment, feelings of frustration, anger, sadness. Sometimes we might even lose our way for a bit. And so it might be a good idea to lay down in front of us water buoys. Kind of plan out what we would like to do that will guide us in that general direction of our life. These milestones and water buoys are different goals that we would like to get to. Not for the purpose necessarily of achieving the goals, but just to keep us on that direction that we would like to live in. Each of these goals, each of these milestones represent an action that we would like to take along this direction. It will help us track our progress and keep us generally on course as we sail towards that direction. So it's a good idea that we write down these directions that we would like to go in. Ask yourself, what is your horizon that you wish to live in that direction? What way will bring your life purpose and meaning? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of friend do you want to be? Neighbor, parent, child? What kind of human do you want to be in this society? How do you want to live it? Do you want to bring challenge into your life to help you grow and improve? Maybe you want to live your life with compassion, to act with kindness to others who are suffering. Maybe you want to live your life with caring towards yourself and caring for the environment or other people. Maybe connection is important to you, where you can engage fully in what you're doing and be present with others. Whatever it is for you, you can write them down and think of ways that you can plot out for yourself that you can live in that way. And now just bring your attention back to your breathing. Notice the rise and fall of your body. Letting go. Being part of your own journey in your own direction. Inhaling and exhaling. The rhythm of life. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back. Wow. Just take in what's around you right now. Just look around you. Use your senses. What do you notice? What do you hear? What do you feel on your skin? What was that experience like for you? Write me in the comments now. Tell me what it's like for you to be on your journey. What are your aspirations? What values do you have in your own life? We'll talk about it in part 2. In the meantime, I'm going to make myself some ketones, which gives me that wonderful energy for the rest of the day. And I'll see you back in part 2. Here's a little information about ketones and longevity. Might be quite interesting. If you need anything else and more information, you can always contact me. In the meantime, I'll see you back after the break.
Knowing your why helps you live longer. It helps you feel happier. And so many of my patients have never asked themselves why they're on the planet and what their goals are. You know, most great businesses have very clear business plans. Most great businesses know what they want to accomplish. Most people have never asked themselves that question, because once you know your why, you can then ask the next question. Does my behavior fit with what I want? And so I'm always talking to my patients about asking, if I do this, well, then what will happen? And does it fit? And so for my physical goals, I want to be a certain weight because, as I said, I have a brother and two sisters that are significantly overweight. So I know I have the vulnerability. And so when I go to think about the cheesecake at my mom's house, I'm like, doesn't fit. And, I might love it, but it won't love me back. I am only going to love for certain foods that love me back. And then you're in a good relationship and it fits. And people go, oh, that must be so boring. It's like, no, being sick is boring. Having pain is boring. Doing the right thing gives you energy, gives you vibrance, gives you happiness.
So, welcome back to Triumph Over Lockdown. Hopefully you enjoyed part one, and just some comments coming in. So, Norman said he's enjoying the course. So, great. Thank you for participating, Norman, and even thank you for making those comments. It really is great to get some feedback from people. Joyce is saying, okay, made it for part two. Wonderful. So, you're in for part two. You can always go and look at the replay for part one, Joyce, and enjoy that breathing and meditation, which can be quite fundamental. So this is the discussion part. If you've got anything that you want to ask or anything that you want to comment on, then you're welcome to. Joyce is saying, thank you for the guided meditation. It does help to focus and relax me. As for my goals, all is gold. Wonderful. So it's really important to have that general direction of how you want to live. What is it that is important for you, brings vitality into life? We really need to articulate it. It's not enough just to think about it. We need to speak it out. We need to write it down. We need to say, I want to live a life full of adventure. I want to live a life full of compassion. I want to live a life full of caring. Whatever it is for you, curiosity, learning, it doesn't matter. We can have a whole list of them. We can have different types of values according to the different domains that we live in. So my value for being a parent might be slightly different from my value of being a friend or being an employee or employer or, a citizen of the world or a human being in society. Each of these domains can have their own values that are really important to you. So it's really important, if we want to have that kind of sailing in a particular direction, then we really need to articulate what is important to us, what will bring us meaning and purpose, right? And you can try them out. You can experiment. It doesn't have to be, oh my goodness, I can't think of them right now. Experiment, be flexible, be open to bringing different experiences into your life. That's what's really, really going to help you discover that self-discovery of, who am I? What is important to me? Sometimes we've had it when we were teenagers or in our young adults, and then later on in life, we've kind of forgotten about them because life took over. It was very busy. And sometimes you just got to sit down and say, wait a minute. I remember when I was younger that this was really important to me. Maybe I can go back and rediscover if that is something that's still exciting and important for and meaningful for me. And if you're young in the moment anyway, then please get that flexibility and go out and discover different things. Doesn't necessarily bring comfort and good feeling in your life, but it might bring you some real meaning and purpose. And that is really what life is all about. It's a journey of learning. It's a journey of going in that direction, but it's a journey of behavior. It's a journey of action. And that behavior and action at the end of the day is something that we can really participate in. Okay. We really have a choice a lot of the time how we respond to different things that come into our life. And that is something that we really need to understand, that we can really be maybe observers in our life, but we can be active observers in our life and really kind of play a active participation and responsibility and be adventurous and discover different things about ourselves and those around us. So thank you again for joining me. See you, please God, tomorrow at the same time, same place on Triumph Over Lockdown.
Into the fourth dimension.
Disclaimer, this show is not therapy, nor a replacement for therapy. Should you wish to inquire about therapy, counseling, life, or executive coaching, please contact Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman at factcpfa@gmail.com. factcpfa@gmail.com. Dov Benyaacov-Kurtzman is a highly experienced psychotherapist, executive business coach, and author of the book, Mind Over Terror. 3 weeks, 2 cities, 1 mission. With over 10,000 hours of experience and academic degrees in government, law, clinical social work, and a postgraduate diploma in psychiatry with distinction, Dov has the background to help you. He's also available for public speaking and corporate training.